Hello universe, what's up? It's Brandy 619 and we're gonna have to talk about this morning. Um yeah, I got my headscarf on, but I was checking out a video this morning of a young man who killed himself and his three kids, of course his three kids first, and then himself because his woman cheated. He said she was a habitual cheater. He's on Facebook Live saying that this is going to be his last video and that he had just told his young son who was laying on the floor that he was going to kill him. And he's saying the reason why he's doing this, and he's talking to the baby mama or the girlfriend who he gave 13 years of his life to. She's a habitual cheater. She don't gave him STDs. He just wanted to talk to her. They could have talked about it and whoopty wham. And she's, I guess, responding over social media, telling him that she's scared and X, Y, and Z. He's saying you wouldn't even come home and all of this. Now, this video broke my heart. Looking at the picture of the three kids, but hearing the little boy in the background crying, and him knowing that his dad is serious about what he's saying to him, and he has a pistol in his hand, and this mother is wherever she is, saying that she ain't coming there because she's afraid. Okay. I understand fear. I understand not wanting to put yourself in that position or being afraid to die. Essentially, that's what it is being afraid to die. Because she knew that he was for real and that he was serious about what he was talking about. And the reason why she knew that he was serious is because this is not the first time that he's done this or said this to her. I can guarantee you that. But with that being said, and you knowing what kind of person that this guy is, and that he has these rages or these jealous rages for whatever reason she's in fear of him for, you leave your children there to go do whatever it is that you're doing, whether he's paranoid or not, whether she's cheating or not. Okay, that wouldn't be a place that I would leave my children. My children would always be somewhere else. If I'm going out, I would have somewhere for my children to be. Yeah, take my kids to my cousin's house. They gonna spend the night over there, or whatever the case is. But honestly, even with that, you dealing with somebody as unstable as this man is, you have to wonder: would you even want to take your children somewhere to someone else's house for him to go over there and get to tripping with them? You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is that you chose him. Not did you only have one kid with him, you had two. Not only did you have two with him, you have three. And if you know you're dealing with a person like that, then you have to be mindful and be careful. It's not just you that you have to take care of. It's those children. So you got to make sure that you on your P's and your Q's, and you doing everything that you need to do in order to make sure that you don't set this type of person off. Okay. The reason I'm talking about this is because you got the woman who done went and plowed down all the people in the intersection at 100 miles an hour in LA and killed all them people, everybody but herself. Okay. You got the crazy dude who went over to the ex-girlfriend's house and beat her all upside her head with ashtrays and all kind of stuff, assaulted her with a hot flat iron. And when I say assault, we all know what kind of assault we talking about, with a hot flat iron. Okay, he came over there drunk, tripping for whatever reason. You got there was another one that I wanted to talk about, and it just blew my mind, because this one right here with this dude who just killed himself and his children has gotten me all kinds of twisted and all kinds of in my feelings. My thing is this: the only problem that I have with this last case right here is that he took the children because he wanted to hurt her and make her feel the pain that he feels for her cheating on him, right? I I understand why he thought he was doing what he was doing. But that's the problem that I have. It's not the fact that he that he popped himself. It's not the fact that he killed himself. That's what I want to say, man. Stop taking, when you guys is feeling a certain kind of way and you feel like life is too much for you and people doing you wrong and well, this is the time where I'm an advocate for you only taking yourself. Take yourself out. Leave everybody else alone. Leave everybody else out of your stuff. Take your own self out. And then you got the nerve, this dude got the nerve to ask for God to rest his soul. Now you won't. Your soul? I mean, I don't know. I'm not God. I don't got a heaven or hell to put you in. I'm not even sure, that I just don't understand why you would do them babies like that. If your issue is with the baby mama, deal with her. Leave the babies alone. I just don't get that. I'm gonna tell you something. If I was her though, I'd have been rushing. I'd have drove my car into that house. All right. You want to talk to me? You got my babies over there. I'm on my way. You got a pistol held up to my babies. I'm on my way. I'd have ran my car through that house. It wouldn't have been nothing. If anybody would have been doing any killing up in there, it would have been me. I'd have ran over him and my babies in the process of trying to save my babies. That's what would have happened. That's what would have happened up in there on that night. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story. My baby daddy put a pistol out on me 3 times, okay? Now, the first time he pulled it out in an argument, he told me he was going to pop me, right? And then the second time we was in an argument, later on down the line, he took the pistol out and he had it wrapped inside of like a rag, like a blue rag or something like that, right? And he this time I actually saw it was inside of the rag, right? He told me he was going to kill me or something like that, right? So then the third time, another time, and the first time, mind you, I'm paying attention to all these things, right? But this third time, we got in an argument, and my daughter was there, and he was like, "I'm gonna blow your brains out." And this time, when he took the gun out, he actually unwrapped it from the rag, right? And when he did that, I was like in a t-shirt or something. I ran out the house. I booked out the house, right? Just natural instinct is like, oh shoot, so I just ran out the house in the t-shirt. I didn't have no pants on or nothing like that. I just ran out the house. But my baby was still inside of there, and I had to get myself back in my head and grow some balls and take my butt back inside of that house to go get my baby. And in that moment, I made an executive decision as her mother and as her protector to do everything that I could to make sure that my daughter was not going to be an object of his fit of rage, that he was not going to be able to take anything out on my daughter in his fit of rage because he's upset with me. I had to run my butt back inside of that house to go get my baby, and I ran back inside of that house to go get my baby, truly expecting in that moment to get my brains blown out my head. And when I ran in there and got my baby, I snatched my baby and I ran back out. He didn't blow my brains out, but that was the risk that I took to make sure that she was not going to. If she was, it wasn't going to be because I didn't make sure that I went in there to go do what I was supposed to do. So, and from that day forward, I never went back in that house again. I didn't go back in that house for nothing. I grabbed my baby, my keys, and we left. I never went back in that house again. I never returned to that house again. I left everything inside of that house. I didn't want nothing about it there. I got what I needed. My baby. And that was the last time I ever saw him. That was the last time. So, I'm not going to say that I don't Okay, she was scared. But sometimes you got to face your demons. Sometimes you got to face your shadow. Sometimes you got to take that fear and you got to turn that into fight. You got to use that. You just have to you just have to trust. You just have to trust God, and you just have to be able to accept whatever it is that comes from that. But when you're a parent, when you're a mother, you have to you this is what you have to do. And I know it hurt him to take his children, and which is why I also commend him for not only just killing the kids, but for killing himself too. Having enough courage to go on ahead and take himself too in the process of all of that. Because even that's a tough decision, to decide to kill yourself. First, not only kill the things that you love the most, your babies that you love the most, but to take yourself, that is you have to be a strong-willed, strong-minded person to even do something like that. Okay? You have to have enough faith that there is a God that loves you enough to forgive you for that. Okay? So, I don't know. I'm just telling you, when they show you who they are, believe them. Okay? This was not the first time. These people who do these kinds of things, that they just recklessly, you know, they spaz out. When we see the outcome, when we see it, it's the outcome of everything that has culminated throughout time. Okay, of their existence, of being who they are. But I can guarantee you, what we see is not the first time that the people around them have seen this. It's not the first time. So what I'm saying to you is, when you see it, recognize it. Get your ass up out of there. Get on down. Get on. Go get you a pistol. Get out. Get out their way. Get out their way. Stop poking these people. These are people who a lot of times cannot be helped. They can't be helped. And people, their family members, their mothers, their brothers, their siblings, a lot of those people make excuses for these people growing up instead of getting them the help that they need when they're younger. Those people see them. Those people know exactly who they are. And sometimes you have family members who try to warn the significant other, hey, this motherfucker, you might. And a lot of times people don't listen. So, I don't know. I did not want this video to be very long, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the video in the description box for you guys, just so you can check it out. And you know, I am warning you that it is going to touch you all up in here. All up in here. And if nothing else, I hope you learn, you know what I'm saying, to make sure that you choose the people who you dealing with wisely. Make sure that you choose the people who you having children with wisely. Make sure that you choose the person who you choose to date wisely. I don't care how you think a person is. Don't let that be what you judge when it comes to the person who you gonna end up being with, or wanting to be with, or who you plan on spending time with, or whatever the case is. Don't let that be what it is. Make sure that they got their scruples is in the right place. If you won't do it for yourself, do it for your children or your future children. Really take a look at what your future is going to look like with this person. You know, a lot of times you dealing with the gangster, because I heard him saying cousin with the wham, and you know, I typically don't. I deal with the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gangster. I was. So I needed somebody who could relate to what I was, my life and my lifestyle, right? But I don't live that life anymore, and neither does my husband. He don't live that life no more. We don't do that. But apart from being a gangster, apart from that, you still have to see what kind of core values a person has, whether they gangster or they not. You have to listen to the way that they speak. You got to watch the way that they move. You got to see how they handle people, how they handle situations. It's a clear indicator. I knew my baby daddy when I first saw him. I was like, but that's a whole nother story. That's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, you know what you're dealing with when you get with these people. And for this reason, I only have one kid with him. Because I understood what I was dealing with. I began to understand what I was dealing with. And even that child came out of just a whole lot of other stuff that I was lacking and that I was needing in what I was going through at the time. But not 2 kids, not 3 kids, not 4 kids, no. Mm-mm. I love my children. I love that they are the blessing that came from. She's the blessing that came from that. But everything else was a wrap for me. So I'm just telling you, these people don't just wake up one day acting like this. They've been doing this. They've been telling you. He's been exhibiting this kind of behavior. So I hate to kick a dog while I hate to kick a dog while she's down, but your fear for yourself, your fear should have been more for your children, and you should have went and took your ass up in there and went and got your babies. And if it just so happened that he made good on his threat, that the threat that he had for the children, and he took it out on you, so be it. But you was supposed to make that valiant attempt to make sure that you had enough courage to go in there and do what your babies needed you to do. So y'all hate me if you want to. I don't care. But I've been there and I had to do that. Scared or not, I had to do that for my daughter. So I'm just saying, y'all watch the video.